Dudes, it's time for the third part of this daily number 575, where we're looking at Hellbat-Mech from WCS EU. In this game, we are going to see Straylock get killed. Sorry, his chords. Straylock is going to get really pounded on early. But we'll see again some key scouting decisions that allow him to be in pretty good shape. So, yep. In this game, Straylock does an opening that is probably, I would call it more of a traditional opening. Oh, man. Oh, I just had to lean back and enjoy myself. I went for a run today, so I got that good old burn going on the thighs, and I'm like, yeah. I don't know why I don't exercise all the time. I always feel like a lot better. But it's just doing it. I want to do it. Straylock's going to be going one barracks expand. Pretty traditionnel. Come on, do it. There it is, the one barracks. And he scouts after the one barracks. The next SCV goes up and builds the command center when? Before second depot! Because this barracks will be building no Marines until that second depot has been started. So, joink. Nice timing. And then Marine production returns. We'll probably need this bunker down a little bit earlier. Unless we intend to build more barracks, which we don't. So, Shoink builds quite early. So here's the things that I'm going to be thinking if I am Straylock. Chrono Boost on the Stalker. I'm seeing that there's double assimilator with 3 in each. And then I'm going to be saying, alright, I want to keep an eye on whether or not he's going to be expanding. It's the big thing I want to keep my eye on. Now, I'm just going to note something, just so you believe me. Remember, there was a chrono boost on the gateway, and I said a chrono boosted stalker finishes around 4:05, 4:15 is about as early as a normal stalker. See, I didn't lie to you. Oh, nice. Whew, what a relief. No lying yet. So, upon getting out a couple of Marines. Okay, we have the double gas coming up. We have this SCV way out. Moving forward, because remember 5 is around when the Stalker should be arriving at our front, and if we go to everyone, oh, there he is. Great, cool. Oops. All right, so cool. So we see this factory coming up. And then following this up, okay, yep, there's the dude. We see the second stalker and uh-oh, no expand. Okay, so now what? Ordinarily, we would give this factory the reactor here, and we'd begin going mines probably so we can push. But Straylock realizes, whoa, something fishy's going on. There's something real fishy going down. I'd probably build a second bunker right away also. But Engineering Bay to help deal with potential Oracle. Straylock trying to just stay at the front, trying to make sure nothing comes up, trying to see if there's any sort of proxy, because, you know, this is a really common place to build a Stargate. A really annoying place to deal with. We see one turret instantly goes down the main base, one turret here. Being hyper defensive, building Marines 2 at a time. Right now, a really fast 4-gate will be able to strike with about 5 stalkers, 4 zealots. Can be a little bit of a bitch to deal with. I still think the second bunker should have gone down quite a bit earlier. We can see how Straylock took this opening that was here and just went, oh geez, I mean, I need to keep the Protoss defensive. No, I mean, I need to stay alive, man. So this is, I mean, Straylock hasn't even seen anything. He's just preemptively getting all antsy. So, whoa, jeez. builds the engineering beta block, and it turns out it's Blink Stalker. The siege tank is going to come out barely in time. So, this is the sort of game that most often I think people experience, and will go, well, what the hell do I do? How do I defend against if he does that? How do, like, what, because my build was blur and blah, and my build has been ruined. I just want you to watch the way that because we have this skeleton structure to the build, all will be fine. Alright, cool, Straylock. Dealing with pushing at the front, dealing with Zealots and whatnot. Uh-oh, he's getting borkened. Clear disorganization happening right now. SCV monitoring for third bases. Trying to stay alive. Oh, it seems a little dicey. Straylock seems to be falling behind on his production. But that's fine. The more tanks we get, the more comfortable we are. Getting up this turret, I think this turret's pretty important. I've seen Blink Stalkers, so Dark Templar's not really a big stretch. And some continued awesome positioning by Straylock. This is one of these like micro decisions that I think is brilliant. It's really easy to want to unsiege this tank and to move it there so we can have better coverage on this base. But what Straylock does is he just waits for the third one. I think that's much better. I think that even in later pushes in the game, where you know you're at his front with like 10 tanks, just wait for the reinforcing tanks 11 and 12 to take a step forward. You don't have to keep your push moving at a lightning pace. Yeah, see, so look. Yeah, and there's that siege tank down there. Nice. And as you're starting to see, there's the third command center cropping up. Seems like things have started to abate in terms of aggression. What a relief. I think it's so easy to think to yourself, okay, well, you know, he has no expand, when in fact, Velmu does. But it's very easy to fall into that, oh, he has no expand, maybe I can attack soon or punish. I mean, almost naively, this build is so strong, you can just naively follow along with it. So see, this factory is not. Seems like things are getting a little out of order, but not really. What's Straylock's next step? To get that third factory up with a reactor. And an armory. So, okay, wait, there's the armory. Nice.
Upgrade complete.
Still checking around. We're defended. And now that we have enough money, I think we should get a third factory, don't you? Well, Straylock certainly thinks so. Finally, frickin' finally, the Hellions move out. Finally! Remember, I was adding on this as like fourth factory with Tech Lab. That's cool. Getting that shenaniganry right away. Trying to get up and spot the expansion. I actually think it's here, isn't it? Wow, no, he hasn't even begun it yet. Straylock's just trying to get in and get a little bit more sense of stuff. So what we see Velmu going down is the Twilight Council route. One thing that's also really tricky is that, I mean, he has High Templar with Storm ready to kill off Marines, but Straylock is not actually building that many Marines. There's your fourth command center. So, this is where it's slightly dicey, because I've said before, you really want to push when you're around 6 or 7 tanks. That's when it's a good amount to push out. But we haven't even really gotten to produce that many Hellbats. I would argue that it's still not that much later to push. Because you have all these Marines, which are sort of replacing the Hellbats. So, comically, the push timing still winds up being about the same. Now, I want to note this by going to the Everyone cam. He's completed one tech. He's gone down the sort of Twilight Templar tech. And then he has no development on the Robotech. In fact, he has one Immortal out. That is his entire development path along that line. Really hard for him to have both techs up. So we know to expect next 2 factories, and for this command center to land there. Storms are good, but It's hard for him to blink up onto us.
I'm in a heap of trouble.
These Hellions run in, and I mean, I'll show this play, and I think that this is alright. It's obviously a lot better with Blue Flame, but Straylock has been cutting gas at this expansion so hard, I don't think that there's a lot of potential to get Blue Flame. But the entire army is identified as being here, and just instantly cuts 3 Hellions up. I think this is very useful for Scout, and will almost certainly always do some damage, but it doesn't feel pivotal by any means. It's just like a nice play. One last thing that I think I'll note is that Hellbats are being produced out of the Tech Lab factory. That makes complete sense because we have our excessive tanks. We want to have like twice as many Hellbats as we have tanks. And right now we have 1 Hellbat and 4 tanks. Or excuse me, 5 tanks. Oh, 6, 7 tanks. So he just begins really churning out a lot of Hellbats. There's another thing that I've seen a lot of players do lately that I just love. It's so important to keep units alive rather than doing damage. It's really easy to like want to get another shot off here and maybe pick those off and see if you can kill these. But it's also really important just to go home and be alive. Flash did this magnificently with his Hellions against, was it, no, it wasn't Sulky, it was Boom Boom on Whirlwind. Alright, cool. So we got our 6, 7 tanks. Got our Hellbats up. Go team! This is late on accident. Attack this way, attack that way, kill off all isolated nerds. Stormy. And almost always the Terran will be jumping, leaping quite far ahead in supply. Killing everything. Storm, what are you gonna do now? This push, this glorious, wonderful push, we will now see truly why I love it so much. I just want to note this starport was like the last thing Straylock got. Pulling back. He has this starport, and there's just no use out of it. I mean, this is only recently built. Nothing, man. Freaking nothing. It's just a nice thing to sort of do a drop here to allow your push to step forward. Why do we say 6 or 7 tanks? That seems like a low number. Well, our goal is to just constantly lose Hellbats and keep the tank number growing by a little bit at a time. Watch this pushing. Watch this pushing. It is so good. This tank positioning scans before he advances. Spreading them out. And here, I start to just get so wiggly. I get so happy. Oh yes, this is beautiful pushing. A push that might do damage, might not. But this is the real painful one. Look at this. These 2 tanks sieged up. There's not even going to really be that much clumping. Notice that he's trying to make sure that the absolute fringe of the range is at the bottom of the ramp. Like everything, the fringe of their range is like right tangent to that bottom of the ramp. This guy is just one of the dudes in back. Great. Look at this. Look at that spread outedness. The 2 that are a little bit too close to the ramp are just the ones that are the easy vulnerabilities, straight to die. But these ones down here. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, look at that positioning. Look at this tank here. Look at him. He's just barely in range of the ramp. These guys, you can see their dotted lines just barely in range of the bottom. So in other words, you step here, you get killed, man. Not everything, just cuts in between the 2 bases and begins drill. These guys dealing the damage here, while all the rest contains. Siege up in between. Whoa! 2 bases. Kill them off with this stuff. And then the rest of everything drills on up. It drills on up. Up. It drills on up. GG Grats. God, that's so beautiful. That mech push, I just want you to know. It's my favorite girl. Let's take some questions. I'm going to go ahead and open up to everybody. If you have a question, just type in the chat beginning with Dear Day 9. I'll take this question from Afixie6. This is Day 9. I've been using mech myself against Protoss and have found great success with de-emphasizing tanks, which is, a lot of what we saw here. Which, using my powers of intuition, is probably why this individual brought it up. I'm a thinking man. I'm focusing on Thors and Hellbats instead. Also, I add on Ghost to EMP the shields of the Immortals, and medivacs for drops. What do you think of this style of mech? So to relate it back to what we saw before, we saw no Thors and no Ghosts. What do I think about that style of mech versus, or like Straylock style of mech versus what Afixie6 is saying? The style from Straylock essentially emphasizes trying to attack quickly, trying to be more mobile and get in the face more. We don't have Thors. Well, okay, we're going to try to hit him early to force him to make observers, which kind of forces him down the Robotech. It makes it very hard for him to suddenly throw down Stargates and get Void Rays, which is a threat, is a threat to consider. And one of the reasons why we sort of continuously apply pressure in this spot. So we don't have the Thors to deal with that. But what's nice is that in Straylock style, if air suddenly pops up, you can just retreat and immediately start getting Widow Mines and Thors and sort of reincorporate that and then go in for the second round push. For Immortals, Straylock is replacing Ghosts by just having more Hellbats. He's using minerals to solve the problem instead of gas. For the sort of Thor Ghost with a lot of variety, I feel like you with that style of mech, you can cut yourself a little bit too thin by getting too many things. Like, I'm going to get Thors and Ghosts and upgrades and Hellbats, and I'm going to get Blue Flame, I'm going to get the Servos upgrade, and I'm going to have Mines, and my medevac drops will be amazing, and I'll nuke and EMP everything. You usually end up with a small army. So I would say the short answer is Straylock's play that we saw here allows you to be more aggressive, and you solve problems by attacking and seeing what he's up to. Whereas the other style of mech is much more passive and will result in much slower games that involve probably Ravens eventually. It's much more Morrow's style. Let's take 2 more questions because I'm going to go get sushi for dinner. Actually, I'll just note this one from Lokes that says Immortals counter every mech unit I can make. What's the answer? Immortals are very, very weak against a properly done mech. Well, not very weak. What the hell am I talking about? They're very, very weak without any... if they can't get up to the tags. Like, in fact, if the Immortals don't get to the tanks, they may as well just not have been in the army at all. I am a strong believer in the weakness of those Immortals in that particular circumstance. So, the key is to emphasize the Hellbats and to be very slow in plotting with your positioning once you get to his front. You can, like, drop at his back and get his stalkers there and then be like, alright, go, army! And then get kind of nearby him. And then just siege up and plod forward slowly. So now I'll take 2 questions. Yeah. From Percocets, who says, would you suggest more Immortals and Colossus-oriented play to combat this, or Stargate? At what point can I tell that he can't be doing anything else? I think if you see a tank and a Hellbat, you can just go, this guy's mech. Or he's awful. He could go bio and be awful, but I think that the big thing to emphasize is actually all mineral-based solutions. Stalkers, expanding, and building positioning. Hellbats have range 2, and tanks have range 7. Stalkers have range 6. And Hellbats will be... And actually, the real place that siege tanks will do damage is when they're sieged. So you can just walk up with tons of blink stalkers and just pick stuff off, and then when they siege up, you just blink back. And then when he tries to move up again, you just engage again and blink back. And you can delay the hell out of the push. It takes forever. And then if you have 1 or 2 warp prisms filled with zealots or immortals, it's a great way to kill it off. It's actually almost identical to Brood War styling. You just, have your blink stalkers there dealing the damage. Then when it gets too close, you've whittled away his army so much, maybe you've blinked behind to cut off his reinforcements. And then when he tries to really engage, you just drop. And I think the answer to that, if you're the Terran, is to be incorporating more mines to try to deal with that. From Griffin9 says, Day 9, what if instead of going Robo, he goes Stargate? Here's the key. All that aggression at the start that we see being laid down with the Widow Mines in particular, force Protoss to reveal his hand. If he goes Robo, he's going to have to get observers, and then you're just going to see your mines slowly dying to some invisible force. And then you go, oh, he's going Robo. Or you see an Oracle floating above, detecting, and you're like, oh, I guess he's going Stargate. Or he went Twilight Council tech, and he's dead. And you're like, oh, I guess he didn't have detection. So in all those circumstances, you get the really big reveal. And if I saw oracles like that, there's a number of choices you can do. I think the simplest one is probably just to go for Hellbat Thor. I think there are fruit flies in my room. This is why I need to close my window. I'm gonna kill him. He's out of reach. Can't kill him. He's a bastard. I hate him. I don't even have any food in this room. I have an empty coffee mug. Alright, let me... It's not empty yet, but I want it to be empty. I have water. And myself. Oh my god. These are ambitious fruit flies. Oh my god. They're watching the show and they're like, Jesus, he's so fruity. He smells amazing. Let me make a plan. What am I talking about? Yeah, I'd probably just go Thor Hellbat. You can, or you can get a couple of Widow Mines and get the Drilling Claws and go like Hellbat Mine, or even Hellion Mine. There's a number of options, but the important thing is that you'll see it early, so you have the flexibility. I'm done. I'm gonna play BioShock Infinite tomorrow. In exciting upcoming news, the After Hours Gaming League Grand Finals is not this Saturday, but it's in 1 week from Saturday, April 27th. It will be none other than Amazon from Seattle versus Microsoft from Seattle. Isn't Amazon in Seattle? I'm pretty sure they're in Seattle. And they're all gonna leave that location where they could play nearby each other. And they're gonna come down here and play. Yeah, they're in Seattle. I was pretty sure. I was just surprised that they're both from Seattle. They're gonna fly a very long way to do what they could have done at home. Thank God for that. April 27th then. Very excited because when May begins, Dragon's Maze will be released, the Magic the Gathering block, and then I got a constructed deck because I'm participating in the Magic the Gathering Pro Tour. I'm that fish that got invited, where they're like, well, this guy has a lot of enthusiasm for the game, and has a lot of visibility. We'd be thrilled to have you there if you'd like. And I was like, alright, let's do this! Oh, and I can't believe I'm going to be the fish. I'm actually going to be the fish there, man. I'm that scrub. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that amazing? People are going to look over and be like, God, I hope I get paired against that guy. That guy's awful. That's me. I'm the guy. Oh, so cool. BioShock Infinite tomorrow, and probably next week as well, so I can finish it. Oh, oh, for the longest time, oh, oh, I've been named Day 9. Bye, guys.